I always I take the path of least resistance on that, and I go for the behavior. Sometimes if I can get a client to change a piece of behavior, even though their head is not there with it, maybe the brain will come along at some point, and they will, okay, I get this. I get it, they'll say. Because they may not like their attitude about some particular thing you want them to do. They may not like it attitudinally. You can say, okay, listen, Marianne, we have to give this a try because everything else you've tried hasn't worked. Give me 2 weeks, give me 10 days, and if you're not happy with it, then we'll abandon it. We'll move on to something else. You got to negotiate that out with the client. So this is all by way of saying I am very sensitive to you as the listener or viewer and what, the impact that we're trying to have and how we need to go about doing that. I'm not here to inform you. I'm here to persuade you. And sooner or later, it gets those are two different agendas. You get into a different mode, a different communication modality. Persuading somebody, if I'm just giving you information, that's one thing. If I'm trying to persuade you about something, that's a whole nother matter. So that's if you're new to the show, that's sort of what's going on around here. It's more complicated than it seems, right? It just sounds like somebody chatting into a mic. No. It's far more. Oh, and by the way, it better be entertaining. If it's not entertaining, people are not going to listen or watch either. And again, it could save their life. They don't care.
Yeah.
They won't pay attention. You got to entertaining doesn't mean being funny. And someday I'll lay out what I mean by entertaining.
I want to go back to the part where you were talking about saving somebody's life and they don't care. It's like going to Moffitt and watching people sit outside smoking.
Listen,
that's
disturbing. What's worse yet, when you have the oncologist outside smoking with the patients.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I have a friend who is the
not to say that they do that at Moffitt.
No, he's the valet over. He is the head of valet over at Moffitt, and
Moffitt is a renowned cancer center located here in Tampa.
And they had a problem with people sitting outside the front doors smoking.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen.
So they wanted to move them off the property, and I agree with that. I'm sorry, I agree with that.
I won't mention the hospital. There's a major hospital here in the Tampa Bay area. The cardiac unit is on the second floor, right? Right underneath it is a McDonald's.
Yes.
And outside of McDonald's is this beautiful area that they created for people to do what? Smoke. Benches, and it's lovely. Plants. People are out there smoking, and the cardiac unit is on the second floor right above McDonald's. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, Reggie was a corpsman in the Navy. He was a medic.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So he's got some medical experience.
Reggie's on the other side of the glass. You got the audience. You got to remember, there's thousands of people out there.
So Reggie's our producer for that I do in the radio part, and I bet he's got stories of people just knowing that they're just taking terrible health, and he did pediatrician.
Yeah, I did pediatrics. I worked in pediatrics, optometry, ophthalmology.
On the ship?
No, I wasn't on the ship. I was in Virginia, and in Bethesda as well. So I started off at Bethesda, then I went to Fort Belvoir.
Well, and the institutions, like in the military, known to soldiers smoke.
Yeah, I mean, it's ironic that he brought that up because I do smoke. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
You smoke?
Yeah, unfortunately.
You put your headphones out and go outside.
See?
No, man, you don't smoke. No smoking. No smoking. Although,
did you start in the military, or did you start prior to?
Where did you learn that habit?
I think I did. I know I started smoking more in the military, but I started probably like my senior year, like midway through my senior year for whatever reason.
How old are you?
28.
All right. I'll give you the single best piece of advice, even even better than what your mama has told you.
Yeah,
Quit
she tells me
smoking.
to quit every day. Like,
Quit smoking. Quit smoking. That's the best advice I can. No matter whatever else I say to you, you need to quit. Find a way, somehow, some way. You need to quit now.
Me and Reggie need to become health partners. I help him quit smoking, and he helps me quit overeating.
There you go.
I'll agree to that. I'm with that.
So I'll find you both at an all-you-can-eat buffet smoking outside, right?
Not if we can help it.
Not if we can help it.
Please quit smoking. Please. You put yourself at risk. We come back. Food. The reason why in my monologue today, I was alluding to the difficulty of talking about something. The something that I have in my mind to share with you today is food processing. There's a study out about food processing. It's called ultra food processing. But I just wanted to generally just talk about food processing as well before the guest comes on. Hard to do. It's a very big, complicated topic. When I say food processing, to some people that's demonic. Not necessarily, but sometimes. today. We appreciate you, and we're so delighted to be here with you. There's a new study out. I reported on it a week ago. They're catching up. Sometimes I beat them to the punch, meaning the mainstream media, and even some of the secondary outlets. Because, that's what we do. In order to make this show relevant, we have to do something a little different so people will listen and watch and create an expectation. Say, oh, I can listen to LTN and pick up what's trending before it's out there even on the mainstream, right?
We've beaten the major news media by a week at one time.
A lot of times. And that's what we have. We have to do that in order to, as I say, to stay relevant. Nevertheless, this study has really caused some, it has inspired interest because they're saying that ultra-processed foods, which, by the way, make up more than half of the total dietary energy consumption in high-income countries, like the U.S., Canada, UK, and so on. Notice the language now. Ultra. I didn't say ultra-processed. Not just processed, but ultra-processed foods make up more than half of the total dietary energy consumption or energy consumed. Food equals energy. Energy equals calories. If you can keep that's as simple as that. People get this, make it too complicated and overthink it. Food equals energy. Energy equals calories. Now, that being said, a Dr. Maria Bess-Rostrollo, she was one of the authors of the study, and she's a professor of preventive medicine and public health at the University of Navarra in Spain. In the case of Spain, consumption of ultra-processed food almost tripled between 1990 and 2010. Close quote. That's according to Dr. Navarro. These researchers collected data from about 20,000 people, and they monitored these. They were volunteers between the ages of 20 and 91. And they did that every 2 years. They would give them a questionnaire, so they followed up with them. And what they used was a 136-item food frequency questionnaire. And the researchers evaluated each person's diet at the start of the study in 1999 and then reassessed as they went along over the years all the way to 2014. So it was a very intensive follow-up over those years. As a researcher, I can tell you that there are problems with food questionnaires. I am not as severe as some of my colleagues in the field of medical research, where they say most nutrition research is bogus because they don't believe in food questionnaires, and they think because they say that the person's ability to recall what they ate is very faulty. They can't even remember what they ate yesterday, let alone 2 weeks ago. And so they're very severe about I'm not that harsh about it, but that is a issue. That being said, what I like about this study is they followed up every 2 years. So it was intensive. So that's a good thing. At the end of the day, the ultra-processed food resulted in an increased risk of death. The unprocessed or minimally processed foods, as they described it, which were fruits, vegetables, legumes, milk, eggs, meats, poultry, fish, seafood, yogurt, grains, and natural juice, those people did better when it was unprocessed or minimally processed. Salt, sugar, honey, olive oil, butter, and lard were listed in the category of processed ingredients, while processed foods included cheeses, breads, beer, wine, cured traditional ham, and bacon in the study. The final category in the study was encompassed ultra-processed foods such as flan, sausages, mayonnaise, potato chips, pizza, cookies, chocolates and candies, artificial sweetened beverages, whiskey, gin, and rum. Those are some of the foods. Those are the foods they included in the study as ultra-processed. That list is even longer, but that's what they used in the study. And at the end of the day, the punchline for the whole study was you put yourself at cardiovascular risk and early death when you're on a heavy, steady diet of ultra-processed foods. Now, we won't have time to unpack the steamer trunk on processed food, on the processing of foods. Most of the foods in the grocery store, even if they wash the lettuce and then bag it, that food has been processed. Anytime you take a whole food, a natural food, and do something with it, you have processed it. It's one thing to wash lettuce. It's another thing to start adding chemicals that change the appearance, the taste, the metabolic behavior of how it's going to influence metabolic functioning in the body. That's a whole different level of processing, because these food companies are trying to make the food what? Look better, feel better in the mouth, smell better, taste better, and be more addictive. That would fall in the category of ultra-processed foods, as well as processed. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, this late in the week edition of LTN. We are live every day, Monday through Friday, weekdays, Monday through Friday, a couple hours a day. Of course, the show is syndicated, and hence it plays at different times in different markets across the U.S. and in different countries because we stream. And we keep adding affiliates. We needed to mention an affiliate that was added to the repertoire, Gary.
Yes, we do. I was actually looking for an email for you, so hold on.
All right, it's okay. We'll let you know. We added a new affiliate in New Mexico, and so we're north, south, east, and west, and it's all good, up, down, left, and right. Pietro Navarro is my guest today. Peter Navarro, Pietro in Italian, and he's with Ancient Nutrition. Although he's young, he is not ancient, and he's an educator for Ancient Nutrition. Peter, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Good morning, Dr. Garko. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Yeah, we're good. You know, one day at a time, Peter. One day at a time. Where are you today?
Today I am in San Jose, California.
Oh, my God. It's 6:30 in the morning, 6:35 a.m. there, brother.
Beautiful morning.
Yeah,
Beautiful morning.
Yeah. Do you live near the water?
So I am about, I want to say, I think it's 21 miles from Santa Cruz.
Oh, are you?
Blessed.
Okay.
I'm pretty spoiled, yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that area. It's lovely up there. I like Northern California a lot, although I lived in Southern California. I do like Northern California. Where exactly along the coast are you? In California are you? North, mid, south? Where are you?
So north. I'm in the heart of the Bay Area, in the Silicon Valley. So I'm right between Santa Cruz and San Francisco.
Right. Yeah. So it's lovely up in there. I haven't been there for a while, but it's one of my favorite places. My daughter, she won't even go there with me on a vacation because she's afraid of the earthquakes. I'm serious. She won't step foot. I mean, she had to go there for a meeting. She was on pins and needles the whole time.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's no way to live. I know. I tried to say it's okay. You know, it'll be all right. No, Dad. Okay. So, tell the people what you do for a living. How do you spend most of your time?
So the majority of my days is driving to accounts, which may not sound too fun, but I additionally present products to accounts, and that's probably one of my most favorite things about my job is my ability to have a layout, present some slides, and really educate and inform buyers, health food store managers. It's kind of a passion of mine to be able to educate people on the majority of topics, especially health. So I'm very blessed to be able to be in this kind of position, to be able to share knowledge and information with people who may not have it.
So let me ask you this question. What is the biggest challenge you have in talking either to the manager, the owner of a health store, or I know that you will interact with consumers when they come into the store, customers. What is the most difficult challenge you have in persuading, let's say, leave the owners and the employees off to the side for a second. When you're talking to consumers, what is the most challenging, persuasive topic that you have to deal with consumers? What do you have a hard time convincing them of?
To be honest, probably the hardest thing I have, the biggest challenge I face is convincing people to do their own research. I mean, it may sound kind of silly, but that's probably the biggest thing because I love to present information, and I know people hear read thousands of articles or hear information via word of mouth, but getting them to break out of their shell and kind of see for themselves, like, yes, my word means something to me, but you need to determine, fact from fiction on your own. You need to see what resonates with you, just getting people to do their own research. That's the biggest thing, and I think it's the most important because people don't do it these days. They just, they blindly follow.
Yeah.
And not that that's a bad thing, but it's easy to get misinformation out there.
Yeah, it's interesting. The point that you just make is something that I alluded to in the opening of my show today, where I said that you have to. My job is to try to talk about very complicated things in ways that are understandable, and entertaining, and have some sort of pragmatic value, and to persuade the audience to at least consider the concept, the principle, the theory, or the practice, or the therapy, whatever it might be. It's the hardest part of this job because the attention span is very short, and people don't have there's not a high ceiling for, go ahead and take your time, lay that whole complicated argument out. No, man, it's too tedious. They're not going to listen or watch. They'll change the station. That's just how it is. And that's sort of what you're getting at. People, given the audience is different today than it was 30, 40 years ago. They want it, it's more instant. They want it broken down. They want it now. They want it simple, and they want results. Yeah, good luck with that, right, Peter?
That's often the biggest struggle is people wanting immediate results, especially when they're only introducing supplementation into their diet with no other changes. So that's probably the hardest thing to get through to individuals as well sometimes, is that it is an overall lifestyle change. It is not just, I wish, pop a magical pill and we're all better. You get the goals that you want. Unfortunately, I give it about 20, 30 more years before we're developing things of that nature.
Yeah, now, I don't know if we ever will. I think human biology, physiology, and psychology and whatever, human nature is far more complicated. I just don't know if we'll get there. And I don't even know if we should go there. Nevertheless, I appreciate your challenge. It's very difficult to persuade people to change their behavior, never mind changing their attitudes, values, and beliefs. So it's interesting that you mentioned that because I was alluding to the same kind of challenge. What did you have on your mind today? What's at the top of your mind that you really wanted to share with the audience and try to convince them that it's worth considering?
So probably the biggest thing on my mind, and I'm not sure if you're opposed to this, but CBD is probably the biggest topic on my mind these days.
You can talk about whatever you want. I'm up for it. We talk a lot about cannabidiol on the show, and yeah, it's a major theme, and it's trending. It's a big theme in the natural products industry. There was a congressional hearings and meetings, whatever, going on in Washington recently, and there's a story. In fact, there's a story trending right now about CBD. I'll see if I can pull that. I saw it this morning. So we'll see what Ancient Nutrition is doing with CBD. You have to always look for the reliable companies when you see something trending, and I'm talking to the audience now, Peter. If you see something trending and it seems very popular, be wary and be careful. Always go to the reputable companies. Ancient Nutrition would be one. is the guest on the show today. Peter is an educator for Ancient Nutrition and is going to talk about CBD. Peter, welcome back. As I was sharing with you on this very day, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but the FDA is holding what they call a summit in Washington, I believe, the agency's summit on cannabis-derived consumer goods. A number of people have been invited. I know a couple that are there, and to be there is almost impossible because they screened out lawyers, they screened out all kind of people, and so what happened is all blue chip lawyers, they said, were rejected. The scientists were not. They were spurned. They were asked not to show up. They weren't invited. So they created this lottery system to pick people, to whittle down the list from 400 applicants. Only 120 made the list. And I happen to know a couple on that list that are going to be there today. And these companies are in front of the FDA to try and convince them that in spite of the new farm bill that took hemp products and hemp off the, that controlled substance list, which was ridiculous, nevertheless, the FDA still has control over this compound, and they're not going to decide anything until later this year. And they're trying to, it's all because, cannabidiol is derived from the same plant as THC. And hemp has nothing to do with marijuana, nothing to do with it. And there's so little THC in the hemp, it's not even worth mentioning. But nevertheless, there's a big meeting today. I thought I'd just throw that in. It's timely that you're talking about it. What's your main point? What's your thesis here today that you're trying to share with the audience and you're trying to persuade them about?
So probably my biggest takeaway that I want people to, kind of absorb today is your sourcing and quality control. So Jordan Rubin and Dr. Josh Axe have been working on producing a CBD product for the last 4 years. However, they've been getting a lot of pushback. They were both, I guess you could say, crusaders in the hometown of Missouri where our organic farm is, and they were trying to get the farm bill lifted because in order to grow hemp on our own organic farm was almost impossible. So we had to buy land in Tennessee, Colorado, and these were all organic farms that were previously used for organic produce and organic products in general for the last 10 years. So making sure that, the soil and everything was definitely intact and as clean as possible was probably one of their biggest concerns. And that'll lead me to the biggest reason why, and that's because a lot of people don't know this, but hemp, THC, cannabis, the whole shebang, hemp plants in general, they are known as bioaccumulators. So that actually
what does that mean? What does that mean?
So a bioaccumulator means that it's going to absorb pretty much everything that's going to be around it. So if you're, planting in, I don't want to say toxic soil, but if you're planting, your herbs or your plants in soil that may be, higher in lead, higher in cadmium, higher in heavy metals, if there's on the same farm, if you're spraying herbicides, pesticides, glyphosate, things of that nature, it's more inclined to be absorbed into your actual product, and you're going to be consuming that. So if you're already sick, someone's struggling with, a compromised immune system, dealing with pain, and a whole other plethora of ailments, it's just kind of setting you up and not really giving you the highest nutrient-dense product available.
Yeah, as fate would have it, the cannabis plant family, it's a family of, cannabis is not just one plant. This is why it gets so confusing. That they tend to, you're right, absorb the nutrients and the minerals and whatever's in the soil rather readily, as fate would have it. So if you're growing that crop, whether it's hemp or marijuana or whatever you're growing, if you're growing hemp in contaminated soil in one way or another, the plant is going to include those compounds, those toxic compounds, in its cells, in its tissues, and then your raw material is contaminated. I get your point. So it takes quite a, this is what a consumer doesn't know when they walk into a health store and they see Ancient Nutrition and your CBD-related products. Little do they know what effort it took to go and find a place to grow it where it's not contaminated, right? And legal, too, right?
Oh, most definitely. That's the biggest thing too, is the legality of it. I live in California, so it's fairly easy. I'm close to a lot of states like Nevada, Oregon that are a lot more lenient as well. But for people who live more in the Midwest, more East Coast, more Bible Belt states, it's not that easy. It's not easy to get access to these products, and when you do, you don't always have the highest quality available, just because the growing standards and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. For many years. Well, let me back it up a little bit. Cannabis is a plant family. It's like the Joneses, okay? You can have Joneses that live in Montana. You can have Joneses that live in Missouri. You can have Joneses that live in Mauritius, the island nation of Mauritius, for that matter. But it's a family, it's a plant family that includes hemp and marijuana, for example, which have more than 80 biologically active chemical compounds in that constitute them. The most commonly known are, of course, tetrahydrocannabidiol, THC, which is in marijuana, and it's a psychoactive chemical, and cannabidiol, CBD, which does not produce that psychoactive euphoric state. And you find the cannabidiol a lot in hemp, right? It's in hemp. And they bred out most of the THC. I mean, it's a trace amount. You can hardly find it. Nevertheless, the federal government, for many years, deemed both plants to be controlled substances. Well, the new Farm Bill changed that. Thank goodness. It was ridiculous to have hemp as a controlled substance. The 2018 Farm Bill removed hemp and derivatives such as CBD from the controlled substance list. Finally, they got it. And so long as the products containing them didn't have more than 0.3% THC. But that Farm Bill preserved the FDA's authority to regulate cannabis compounds. So today there's a big meeting in Washington, 120 people trying to get in front of the FDA to get them, to ease back off the selling of the product of CBD in products like with Ancient Nutrition. And Ancient Nutrition has invested a lot of time, money, and effort to get the CBD, a quality, high-grade CBD, into their products. We come back in the second hour. Peter will unpack the different products that they have and why they are a benefit to your health, wellness, and well-being. LTN, coast to coast and globally. And welcome to this late in the week edition of LTN. Thanks for stopping by today, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing across the U.S. and globally. We have a new affiliate. Gary will tell you about that in a minute here. We're happy to have them out of New Mexico. So we get around, you know, we show up. Usually we're invited. We're not party crashers. We like to get invited. So we'll tell you about that. I don't know where we are in the number of affiliates now. It's up there. 60 or better, right?
Yeah, about that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the new affiliate is KCLV 1240 AM in Clovis, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Where is that? You know?
No, I don't.
Look it up, please. We'll find out where Clovis is. And Peter Navarro is the guest today from Ancient Nutrition. He's the guy that goes out into the field and into the stores and talks to proprietors, managers, the owners, the managers, the store personnel. And I'm sure he'll even talk, and I know he will. I know he does. Talks to customers when they come in, trying to educate them about Ancient Nutrition as a company and their products. And we're going to talk about Ancient Nutrition today and their CBD-related products. There's a big meeting going on in Washington as we speak, I suspect, about hemp generally, I guess, and CBD, cannabidiol, as derived from hemp. Just so we're clear, cannabis is a genus of flowering plants, okay? And in the family of Cannabaceae, depends on how you want to pronounce that. I've heard different renditions of that. The number of species within that genus is debated. There are 3 that we know about that really get a lot of attention. Cannabis sativa, Cannabis indica, and Cannabis rudialis. They occupy our time and attention. And the plant is, the genus is widely accepted as being indigenous to and originating from Central Asia, although they can grow it anywhere. Some people are growing it in their yard, in their house, in their makeshift whatever. And some researchers, including Upper South Asia, in its origin. So this is an ancient genus of flowering plants. Okay? This is nothing new under the sun, no pun intended. The plant is also known as hemp. This is where the confusion comes in. Although that term is used to refer only to varieties of cannabis cultivated for a non-pharmaceutical, non-drug application. Cannabis is being used for hemp fiber, hemp seeds, the oils, and so on. Hemp leaves, used for as vegetables and as juice. People do that. Medicinal purposes, which is currently in trend now, as a recreational drug. That's where marijuana comes into the conversation. You don't smoke hemp, man. You don't smoke rope. You're a dope if you smoke a rope. Making Peter laugh. You don't. You just, okay, Peter, come on to the show, man. I'm sorry I made you laugh. Some people, they get so confused. This is not hard. It's just like having a family of Joneses. There's some Joneses that are, that are a little outlandish, and there are other Joneses that are, they follow the rules, and there are Joneses that live here and Joneses that live there, and that's just the way it is. Hemp is part of a family of these flowering plants, cannabis flowering plants. So I think the audience gets this now, general public. We're just trying to convince the FDA. And today there's a big meeting in Washington where companies such as Ancient Nutrition and their representatives are in front of the FDA trying to convince them that since the Farm Bill took it off the controlled substance list, the hemp and CBD, that, allow us to put it in products and supplements and, right now they could go out and arrest everybody in the world, and they don't have enough agents to do it. They're letting everybody, they're giving them a pass because I think eventually they're going to just, approve it in the putting of in the placement of products. Okay, Peter. So we would be remiss if we didn't mention some of the products from Ancient Nutrition where CBD is included.
So some of the amazing products that were formulated by Jordan and Josh are going to be our Golden Chai, our MCP Ultra, and our liquids. We also have capsules, but they're not on the release just yet. So probably the biggest thing before I go into them is they are all organically grown, and they are certified USDA organic, and they are all fermented with acetic acid, or the mother from apple cider vinegar, which is just basically used to enhance the nutrient density and make it more bioavailable to those already suffering from compromised digestive systems.
So you have an oil, right? You also have an oil, right? CBD oil? Yes? Peter?
Yes.
You have a CBD oil product?
So we do have a CBD oil liquid. So we have the liquid in a 10, 20, and 40 milligrams. And then we also have a specialized one, which it's got cinnamon in it. And people would usually think that it's cinnamon flavored. However, we've chosen to use cinnamon and turmeric and black pepper because they naturally contain terpenes, which are going to help with the functionality aspect of our products.
Are they in the oil? Is it the full spectrum of the plant, or is the oil constituted of is it an extract?
It is a full spectrum. So it is going to be just under the legal limit of the 0.03%.
Exactly.
THC.
Exactly. And what are you saying to consumers about the use of the CBD oil? What are you saying to them? I know you can't prescribe it as a medicinal, like a drug or like a pharmaceutical, but what does the literature say, and what are you all saying at Ancient Nutrition about its use? Do you take it to grow hair? Do you take it to ride roller coasters? Why would people want to take it?
So probably the biggest thing that we're letting people know, and this is basically just information that we've been given from the Knox doctors who are out in Portland, Oregon. They are fantastic people. They are providing information on CBD and hemp and things of that nature. So basically we're letting people know that CBD, yes, it's important for controlling, healthy stress levels, mental clarity, healthy cognitive responses, inflammation, you name it, the list goes on. But the biggest thing that it does is help support our endocannabinoid system. And that's something that was actually discovered in 1960 by the U.S. government. It's just now something that's starting to get a little bit of light shed on it. And the endocannabinoid system is kind of like our equilibrium. It's going to be unbalanced if we consume, too many processed foods, if we're overstressed, if we're taking in a whole bunch of toxins, if we're not, taking care of ourselves. Any little thing can throw off our endocannabinoid system. So hemp products in particular have been known to help rebalance that and actually get us going, so we have more energy, more that sense of well-being, that calmness, that, adaptogenic effect, that, healthy inflammation response.
Do you all talk about CBD as a moderator of pain?
For the most part, the majority of us, yes. We let people know that there is research
Let's
out
talk about that when we come back. Inflammation and pain. There's research now to suggest that cannabidiol, as it's derived from hemp, can moderate inflammation and pain. This is interesting. That intrigues people a lot. It intrigues me. Ancient Nutrition. We'll be back. Friday edition of LTN. Peter Navarro, educator for Ancient Nutrition, is the guest. Hey, Peter, listen, how come we can't find an image of you, man? Are you in the witness protection program or something?
I'm a phantom.
You are Phantom, brother. There's not one photograph of you anywhere. What's going on with that, brother?
Anonymous. I have to keep my face hidden for the knowledge I'm presenting.
I need a picture of you for our video.
We want to put you on the screen so that people worldwide can see what a handsome Italian, you're Italian, I presume, the Pietro Navarro. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're Spanish. I don't know.
Spanish, yeah.
You are Spanish?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lovely name, by the way. I like that name.
Thank you.
That's a great name. We would love to have a photograph of you so we can put it up on the stream so everybody worldwide across the U.S. can see who you are, man.
I will get one sent over to you guys.
Okay, send it to Gary. I'm going to give him your...
Okay.
Yep, I'll give it to him now.
Gary's going to send you an email. We would love to see what you look like so we can put you, unless you, if you don't want us to, we won't. I'm just messing with you a little bit, but if you don't want us to, it's okay. Giving you a hard time. I know you're trying to be serious and talk about and I'm throwing you off your game.
No, it's okay. Fun is good.
Fun's essential, brother. It's essential.
It is.
So, let's take that first product first that you mentioned, and let's talk about it. What's its intended use? How to use it? What do you mix it with, and so on, if you can, or whatever. You know, the first one that you mentioned.
That is going to be the golden chai.
Okay, what is that?
So that's going to be comparable to a golden milk. It's going to be that ancient Ayurveda product that people use. It's going to have the turmeric, the black pepper. We've also infused it with ginger, coconut milk, MCT oil, a lot of warming and bitter blends, just to help. In addition, again, these ingredients were specifically selected because of their naturally occurring terpenes, which, again, work synergistically with the CBD products to enhance its effectiveness. A lot of people oftentimes forget and they think terpenes are just aromatic oils, they're just for taste, they're just for aroma, but they actually do have functional effects as well. So that's why we've chosen specific ingredients. So people who would consume this product, it's usually traditionally consumed in the evening time before bed, and its purpose was a digestive tonic. So helping to soothe the digestive system, helping to soothe, and promote healthy inflammation response. So consuming it at night with, people like to do it hot from what I'm hearing, with, hot water, you can do cold water, coconut milk, things of that nature. It blends relatively easy too, so you don't have to worry about it clumping or sticking to your shaker bottle or the sides of your cups. So that's also another plus, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You alluded to inflammation. There is a body of work now that's being compiled to suggest that cannabidiol, the compound, will moderate the inflammatory response. That's very useful, especially people that have pain. Inflammation is correlated with pain, although inflammation is part of a healing process. Do you get much request for that? Do people ask you about that? Do owners of health stores ask you about CBD and pain and inflammation, or no?
Occasionally it's a question that pops up, and what I usually tell them is it's part of the endocannabinoid system, how the functionality of it works. It basically binds to the CB2 receptors, which are responsible for the immunosuppressive response and the modulation of inflammation.
Bingo.
And basically that, works together by contributing to that. It helps get rid of that pain and swelling that's associated sometimes with unhealthy or chronic inflammation.
Do you, that they even put CBD now, some companies are putting it in a balm that you can rub on, when people have arthritis or something, they can rub it on that area. So it has a lot of applications. The science of the endocannabinoid system, the science of the cannabinoid system generally, I guess, too, I'm using those synonymously. The science of CBD as a compound, that body of work is growing every day. So eventually we'll get to a place, I think, where, it'll be fully legitimated. That's my view. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong about that, but we're headed in that direction. So this chai product, you're saying you recommend it for before bedtime? What if you take it during the day? What would happen?
You could definitely take it during the day. You could start your morning off with it. It's not going to induce sleep or in tranquility. It's not going to knock you out. It's just that's traditionally how it was used. But those who again are constantly dealing with certain situations per individual, you can definitely use it throughout the day. However, I would probably, depending on your tolerance level, I guess would be appropriate. It comes in a 10, 20, and 40 milligrams of the CBD. So if you intend on using it throughout the day, if you're not an avid user of CBD or things of that nature, I would probably start with the 10 milligram. This way you're not, again, inducing tranquility, inducing,
Right.
too much relaxation. Because when you get up to the 40 milligrams, again, it'll vary from person to person, but people who are not avid users or who have no experience tend to feel a little bit more on the too relaxed side. Again, not like tranquility, but just I just want to relax. I just want to stay home today.
Yeah, sure. I get it. 877-897-8255. Peter Navarro is the guest on LTN today, Coast to Coast and globally, and we're trying to get a photograph of him so that you can see him, what he looks like. Put a face to the voice, or voice to the face, or whatever. We can. By the way, Peter, we can also stream you live onto the show. It takes about 2 minutes to hook it up. All you need is a computer with a camera, and Gary can put you up on the screen with me live all around the world. Are you up? You're not up for that, are you?
I'd say next month I'd be up for it. I have not shaved. I haven't I've been in hiding. So.
You don't want to do this in your pajamas? We'll be back. This Ancient Nutrition edition of the show. Ancient Nutrition, in the spirit of full disclosure, is a sponsor of LTN, and we're happy to have them. Proud to have them as a sponsor.
And I have to say this because I got samples. They sent me some samples, and they gave me the chocolate keto shake, and it's amazing.
I wouldn't know because you didn't give any to me. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you, Jerry. I'm messing with you.
Because you're messing with me about the keto diet, and it's one of those diets that really, really worked for me. It's really working right now, and I got these.
Good.
And I have these when I have those sweet cravings. That's what I take is that chocolate keto shake.
When you have
amazing.
When you have a sweet craving, you should kiss your girlfriend.
I do.
How about that?
I will.
See if that'll work. Peter, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. So, okay, we got the chai. That sounds like a keeper. What's the next product you want to describe and explain and promote and persuade and get us to take it?
So the next thing is actually really, really cool in my opinion, and it kind of speaks to our mission statement, and which is bringing ancient nutrition to a modern world. And that means being a part of the modern world, we have to make sure that we are not necessarily tailoring to every individual, but making things convenient, enticing, and readily available, because all our main goal is to promote health. So we have to try to find a way to get people to want to consume our products, which leads us to Multi-Collagen Protein Ultra, which contains 5 milligrams of CBD added to that. So basically, it's going to be our original multi-collagen protein, which is going to contain 4 types of collagen from 5 animal sources, which is going to provide you with the types 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10. So we're making it super convenient. We're going to add the MCT oil to it, which is going to help with the uptake. And basically, we wanted to provide an all-in-one, just because, we all know that people don't want to take, too many pills, too many liquids, too many of anything. So by providing something that's extremely nutrient-dense and highly beneficial in one product, people will be more inclined to take it.
Mm-hmm. 877-897-8255, 877-897-TALK, or 813-636-8255. Why would person take the collagen product?
So anyone who would be, more inclined to take this would be anybody who wants to support healthy hair, skin, and nails, and, joints and tissue, but also get that relaxation benefit and that calming and, healthy inflammation response from CBD all in one. So basically, anybody who has, starts their morning off, it's a good way. I like to mix mine in coffee just because instead of taking theanine, it provides that steady caffeine release effect as opposed to an overstimulation of the body, which some people get, and it's not a healthy way to start your day right off the bat. Having the jitters, having the shakes, and speeding up your metabolism too much. You're going to be eating extremely high caloric breakfasts, especially if you're consuming coffee that has a lot of sugar, a lot of processed ingredients, which is going to affect your blood sugars negatively. So basically, anybody again who wants to take their hair, skin, and nails to the next level and wants to have those benefits of CBD added, this would be the product for you, an all-in-one. So you're not taking CBD separately, you're not taking your collagen separately, you're getting them both, bam, right in one sitting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's Peter. You're a good-looking guy, man. Why not? What are you doing hiding that photograph? Your mom would be mad at you, boy.
I don't know what it is. I've never really been one for pictures of myself, so I have to usually ask around or look on people's Instagram pages because I usually.
Well, thank you for sending that. You're a handsome young man.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good, man. You come across as very genuine and honest, and I can see that you're inspired by what you do, and you like what you do. That means a lot to people.
I have a question over the internet, and that is, you don't have to be on the keto diet to take the products, right?
No. Go ahead,
No.
Peter.
No,
Lay it out for them.
So, while it would be advantageous to utilize those products during a keto diet, they are extremely beneficial, in my opinion, for anybody of all walks of life. I love to use keto protein on days when I'm on the go and don't have time to eat breakfast, just because, again, with healthy fats it provides, that healthy protein, it helps keep, for me at least, my blood sugar level stabilized. I'm able to be satiated and held off longer as opposed to, 2 to 3 hours. I'm able to push that to a 4 to 6 hours, especially when you're on the road, when you're traveling. You know, I know a lot of truck drivers like to use keto protein as well. We have a coworker of mine whose son-in-law likes to use it because he is a truck driver, and he just finds it so convenient and so readily available. And again, just keeping you satiated, keeping those blood sugar levels stable is just extremely important. And then all those MCTs and fat-soluble nutrients that enhance cognitive function, you know, why would you not want to provide your body with such great nutrients, especially just at the start of your day?
It's funny that you say that because I've had truck drivers come to me because they have to take a physical every year. I don't know if you know this, Doc, for their DOT card.
Right.
And they can't be diabetic.
Right.
So, yeah. So their sugar spikes and keeping them from being diabetic or pre-diabetic, they will make them take a physical every 6 months if they become pre-diabetic.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Intense, especially with all of the readily available sources they have, you know, energy drinks, you know, coffee, and the food that they have along the way, especially at stops, isn't always the most ideal. So, again, like you were saying, that's even more reason to consider not just the keto protein, but having a keto type breakfast in general.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you: has Ancient Nutrition connected the products to a ketogenic diet?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay. Have you all talked about, or do you have materials that implicate or include the products in some sort of ketogenic eating plan, or no?
Oh yes, most definitely. We have two sources of literature. We have a Keto 360 book, which is going to basically be our keto diet layout. It's going to have, you know, the supplementation, you know, the advantages of including intermittent fasting, meal timings, types of meals, things of that nature. We also have a new book by Dr. Josh Axe, which is the keto diet as well, and that's also going to be user-friendly, especially for those who are more of the vegan and vegetarian users, because when I'm in the retail stores, a lot of what I'm hearing is, I'm a vegan or I'm a vegetarian, how can I do keto? You know, I find it, you know, a little difficult. So he has more of a layout in certain foods that you can implement in your diet to successfully accomplish that while being on a certain restriction.
If I sent you an email, would you be able to get me a copy of Dr. Axe's book so I can talk about it on air?
Yes, of course. Just send me over some information.
I'll send you an email, and I'll give you my office at home. I don't want, if you send it to the corporate office, it'll get lost in the maze of offices there.
No worries.
I will send you an email. If you're watching the show, that image to the right of me, the better looking person, is Peter Navarro. He sent us a nice photograph of him. Handsome young man. It's great. Come back, we'll have the LTN health question of the day. Who knows? You might win a $25 supplement gift card. And health question of the day. I didn't give the answer earlier, and it has to do with the plant, the cannabis plant, which is a family of plants, quite frankly. But generally speaking, cannabis as a genus, where do scientists believe that cannabis was first grown? A, the Himalayas, or A, the Andes, B, the Himalayas, or C, the Rocky Mountains. Where do you think scientists believe that cannabis was first grown? A, the Andes, B, the Himalayas, or C, Rocky Mountains? Here's the number to call. Win a $25 supplement gift card.
877-897-8255, 877-897-TALK.
Peter Navarro has been our guest today, and he still is. Peter, welcome back. So we covered a couple of products so far. What else would you like to include in your narrative today, Peter?
Probably the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway again is just to recap the importance of always having organically grown or USDA organic hemp in general. Again, just because of that bioaccumulator aspect of the plant. So always making sure that, always knowing where your companies are bringing and providing and getting the raw material for these products is extremely important. Again, I know they say that with a lot of other products in general, but again, stressing the importance that, again, the bioaccumulator aspect is just the biggest takeaway. Knowing that where your stuff is being grown is important because, again, it'll be absorbing all of that, and you will in turn be ingesting it. So always having the most natural sources available is always the best.
So when Peter uses the phrase bioaccumulator feature of the plant, it means that they, as fate would have it, have the ability to absorb whatever chemicals are in the earth, whatever compounds, good and bad, nutrients or toxic chemicals, they will absorb it. So that's why they made their product organic, which is a great idea. They went the extra mile, so to speak. 877-897-8255. I'll reduce it to two choices. Where do scientists believe that the cannabis plant was first grown? A, the Andes, or B, the Himalayas? 877-897-8255.
When you asked that question originally, we were talking about that, I was stunned.
Really?
I really was.
Yeah. I'm always intrigued with the history of things. Where did something come from? Whether it's a person, a process, a thing, whatever. What's its history? What's the context here? And the cannabis plant is intriguing when you look at the history of it. And it only in modern times did it become a plant of controversy. It's got everybody all in a twist, and hemp is part of the cannabis family, but it's not a marijuana plant. That's part of the family too. All right, it's a different plant. And today there's a big meeting going on in Washington, about 120 some people in front of the FDA, getting that they were selected by lottery. And they're trying to convince the Farm Bill decriminalized hemp. It took it off. It's no longer a controlled substance, which was so preposterous. Now the next thing is the FDA has to give its approval and stamp of approval on it being used in products and in the stores. And, they could fuss at everybody right now. They don't. Because they know that it's not going anywhere. So they're eventually going to just give the green light, and everybody can race down the track with it. They don't have to sit there and wait at the red light for it. Let's go to Alabama. Valerie, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on, Valerie.
Thank you. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm actually working now.
You're doing good, huh? So,
Yes, I'm doing good. I'm actually working. I love listening to your show.
where in Alabama are you?
I live in Tuscaloosa, but I'm working in Greensboro. I deliver mail on my mail route, so it's good to enjoy your show while I'm working.
Oh, okay. Great. Don't get in trouble with the boss.
Okay, I have to ask. Do you have a Fitbit?
Okay.
Do you have a Fitbit watch?
I do not.
Because I was trying to figure out how many steps a day you take, because mail carriers make a lot of steps.
I know. Well, we're so glad that you listen to us even while you're at work. A lot of people do that. And Tuscaloosa is a good market for us. We get calls from Tuscaloosa all the time. I don't know what they put in the water down there, but it's good for us because you all like the show, and we like you. So where was the cannabis? What do scientists, archaeologists, and the like believe cannabis was first grown? In the Andes Mountains or the Himalayas? Himalayas, right? Is that what you said? Her signal broke up. I think she said Himalayas. There you go. Congratulations. You won a $25 supplement gift card. If you're not familiar with Ancient Nutrition, you can go to their website, and the products are sold in fine health stores throughout the U.S. The products are great. The hemp, the CBD products are all organic, certified USDA organic. Great products, great formulations. You might want to consider it. Thank you again, Valerie. We appreciate you, and thank you for your service. Okay, Peter, thank you for sending your photograph. We'll every time you come on. Next time, if you come in, when you come on, we can stream you live. We have guests that do that, and you can, put on a pair of breeches and a shirt. You don't have to wear your pajamas because I know it's early in California, and we would love to do that for you. If you're interested, contact Gary, and I'll send you my address. I would like to get Dr. Axe's book on the keto diet so I can talk about it and promote it for him, and as well as Ancient Nutrition. And please give Dr. Axe and Jordan Rubin my best. Tell them I send along my best, and so does Gary. Okay?
I will do that, sir.
All right. You're a great representative for their company, man. You do a great job. We appreciate you. Ancient Nutrition.
I appreciate you guys.
We'll see you, pal. Take care. Ancient Nutrition for modern times. Go to ancientnutrition.com. Enjoy your weekend. Take care of yourself. Keep your health in mind, because your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you. I'll see you on Monday.